You are just too scared to get it. Now let's break it down.
It's Metapreneur.
Yep, that's me. 7:30 p.m. the other night on my way to Moscow. Well, about 2 years ago, say, I flew to Russia. And it's more like a country where, the citizens of this country don't speak English language. Well, maybe 20 to 30% of people who live here in Russia speak English, just have basic knowledge of the English language. But only 5% of, those 20%, are able to speak English language fluently. And then, well, it says for you to achieve fluency, you need about 2 to 3 years of your stay here to be able to achieve fluency in the Russian language. And if you're grading these languages in order of, how hard they become, we have Chinese language, Japanese language in the, top tier of all the languages, being the hardest. Russia kind of tends to rank third if you're going in increasing order of hardness of these languages. So, well, I did learn the language basically under 9 months. And what did we actually do there? What we actually did there was, just the basics of the language, trying to understand, it's called cases, Russian cases, right? So you try to understand those cases, the six of them, and all of that. So we're about a few persons in our class, and then there were other students too in other classes who were learning at the same time. But what really mattered the most, when we finished the classes, what mattered the most is the fact that you are expected to speak or at least understand when other people speak this language to be able to communicate with them. And for some persons, it didn't just come out fine. For some it did, like myself. But people say, and I believe that too, it kind of works, that language learning isn't just for everybody. Well, and you might also say that some persons have the talents to be able to learn languages and all of that. Well, I could agree to that as well. But I'm going to give you three top ways to be able to learn any language you want to learn in any country of your choice. Because most times people look at it that maybe I'm just gonna go to the US, maybe I'm just gonna go to the UK. Probably, they speak English language there. But think of it, there's still Japan, there's still South Korea, there is, Russia, for example. And these people don't speak English language, but they've got good economies. So what happened? What happens is that you need to just focus and look at it. It doesn't, irrespective of whatever country that is, you need to go there as far as you are getting what you want as a result. That's in terms of, understanding the people, and then getting, working there if you choose to, and then running certain businesses if you choose to. Yeah. My name is Dr. Yomobong, and welcome to Medipreneur. It's a channel where we're going to be talking about medical things. I'm a medical student here in Russia, and I'm also an entrepreneurship enthusiast. I am actually working and looking at building my own business as well. So I've got my mentor Alex Homozi, he's a really cool guy, and Ali Abdal. So think about Ali Abdal, think about me. It's basically going to be like the same thing. And yeah, here are the 3 things that we need to know. You need to know, right? Because I've gotten through it already, basically. To be able to learn a language in a country that doesn't speak English, or a country that speaks English, but English language is basically not your lingua franca, not your mother tongue, right? So here, the first thing is intentionality. One thing I did was, before I came to Russia, I kind of thought about it this way. I'm going to a place where these people basically don't speak English. They kind of don't understand me, or won't understand me when I kind of go there and try to talk with them. And I said, okay, fine, I have to be intentional about this. I have to be able to understand them. They have to be able to understand me. Well, at first when I came, it wasn't so easy, I could say, because when I came in here, I had to go look for certain jobs that I could do as a foreigner to be able to survive, basically, because in most of these countries, quite different from what we have there in Africa, is you basically need money to survive. It's a situation whereby without money you could actually run into more problems debt-wise. So I just had to be very intentional. And how did I go about doing that? I decided that, okay, fine, I need these people and these people need me too. How do they need me? Well, and they need me. Why? I have English language skills. I speak the English language. They don't speak. Most of them want to learn how to speak the English language. Most of these kids in their school learn the English language, and they learn this English language from Russian teachers who basically don't have idea, but we're also taught how to. So you who basically, all the same, were taught how to speak the English language, but you grew up speaking it, developing yourself the whole 20-30 years of your life, even till right now. So you're still developing it, speaking it, learning new things and all of that. But these people just, how many years? Less than 10 years, for some less than 20 years. And there's no one to communicate with, because obviously people around them are Russian, so they would definitely need to communicate in the Russian language. So it's quite different. So, and that for me was an opportunity, because I started teaching the English language to Russians and charging them, at a fee for it. Yeah. So another thing is I'm going to talk about now is, I call it street mode. All right, what is street mode exactly? Because some persons might feel you come into a new country, you don't want to just associate with people, you don't really like to associate with them, you don't want to focus, you don't want to disturb them in a true sense. But please disturb them. Why? Because I did learn a lot of things from relating with people streetwise, like on the street, just random persons around me, people living around me close to where I live. Just try to make sure you communicate with them. That's just how you build it. First, build a rapport with this person, and then try communicating with this person. And then here's another thing I did. It's still based on intentionality, but streetwise. When I talk with someone, when I talk with a friend, probably who's Russian, I tell this person, I say, look, I'm not perfect in this language. I'm still very much learning, right? So if I speak and then I make some mistakes, please correct me. It doesn't matter in the middle of my sentence, or you just kind of wait till when I'm done, but please correct me. Now, how does that work? You correct me, and then I might not necessarily remember this word probably the next day. But what happens is that when I hear this word that you corrected me, maybe from someone else, maybe a week later, or maybe a month later, I'm like, yeah, I do recall this. Someone told me about this some months ago, and right now it's in my memory. And then you kind of what does this word actually mean? You kind of think about it context-wise from what the person was saying, and try to, make meaning of it, literally. So if you don't associate with these people, if you don't speak with them, if you don't go out and try to, the the previous, you don't do all of that, you are basically just gonna be there. And you being there is, you're not learning, not doing anything. It's just so sad, right? So you have to be intentional, and then street mode. Right? The third thing I'm going to talk about now is what I call active involvement. Yeah. Now, first, listen. There has been intentionality already established. It doesn't matter, even if you've been in that particular country for more than 3 years and you don't understand literally anything that is being spoken of there. You can still build intentionality at that point, right? And then after that, you talk about street mode. What I mean by street mode is actually active communication with natives who are there. Try to build rapport. No man obviously is an island. You need those people to survive. They need you to survive. In my case, they need me to learn the English language, and I teach them and they get better at it. And I need them to be able to speak their language, to be able to make business deals with them, to be able to talk about several topics with them, to be able to have an understanding of how the system works. I'm a foreigner here. I need to understand how things work, so that I don't just get carried away and all of that. Now, the third thing is what I call active involvement. How can you be actively involved? Don't just be a passive learner. Yeah, I'll put it that way. Don't be a passive learner. Just try to be actively involved. Learn. Now, here's what I do. I watch movies in Russian. I watch Instagram Reels in Russian. Because initially when I came, I was advised by a friend who I worked with. She's actually Russian born. She teaches English language. Yeah. So she advised that I go watch movies, way back 1980s or in the 90s, how Russia was transformed and all of that to what it is right now. And yeah, I did watch that movie. That was back then. I mean, I didn't watch it for the fun of it because practically I was not understanding anything. So what did I do? I just watched it. Why? To learn how they speak, to flow with their tempo, literally, right? To just understand how it is, what exactly they're speaking, how fast do they speak. And again, basically these guys don't speak as fast as Americans do, or maybe British people do. Yeah, so it kind of makes it like a little bit more understandable. The only thing is, most times you have to truly kind of understand sentences, how they're built, in what context, in what form, because one thing about it's crazy really about the Russian language is that one word could have like 8 different meanings, and you're like, wow, maybe which of them is she actually talking about in this context? You just have to know that too as well. So basically, an active involvement is that you just have to actively be involved in trying to learn more of this language. Here's what I do first thing. Maybe we're in the metro station and then we're kind of listening to, it's kind of tight and people are trying to discuss that. Well, I'm not trying to eavesdrop. I'm trying to improve my vocabulary actually. So what I do is the talking, and maybe I come across a word that I'm not familiar with. I just open my translator and I'm like getting suggestions from the translator as well, and see what exactly is going to be like the most suitable word for that conversation. Okay, so there's just some part of the conversation I'm understanding, and there's just some part of it that I don't. So that part of the conversation that I don't understand is what I go look up in the translator, and try to see which word that is, how it relates to their conversation, and how it makes sense in the sentence. Yeah, so active involvement is what makes you develop over time. I never get shy, for real, and don't feel like you don't need them. Obviously you're in their base, so you basically need them. So never feel like you don't need them, never feel like you have nothing to do about it. You just want to come, maybe you're studying, just come, study and go. Well, won't you probably work and some money? Or how do you intend to survive, especially if you're broke? Especially if you're broke, yeah, for real, let's face it. If you're broke and you need to survive, you need money, and you're gonna work and you're gonna go look for some job that you can do. How do you go do this job? How do you go start working if you don't even understand the terms and conditions, the people you're working with, what exactly is required of you to do in that job? Because I mean, it got to a point where I went for a particular job. That was when I was still pretty much learning, and they just told me point blank. She was like, "We don't understand you. You don't understand us, so we can't work." There was nothing I could do basically, because obviously that's the truth. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to face what's true, and don't take it for maybe they don't like me or something. Use it as a means of improving yourself. Yeah, revenge, right? So look at it as a means of improving yourself. So you don't understand them, they don't understand you, fine. Well, pretty much I'm gonna go learn this thing. Give me some time, 2 months, 3 months, a year. I'm gonna learn this thing and I'm gonna be back with you, like for you, literally. I mean, that kind of revenge, kind of positive kind of revenge. Yeah, so those are basically those 3 things that I have for you. Just be positive about learning it. Embrace it. Embrace the culture. Embrace whatever culture it is in Japan, wherever you are, South Korea, wherever you are in Brazil. I mean, embrace the culture through their language. Only then can you understand what is going on inside. Alright, so thanks for staying up through. I hope you were able to understand and viewed it differently, like from a different perspective this time around, that you can actually possess or hone that skill, that language skill that you actually really need yeah, you do need it, and to survive wherever you are. And then thanks for watching. Still, this is Medipreneur. I don't know how I came about that name, but yeah, like I said, I'm a medical student here in Russia and an entrepreneurship enthusiast. I actually looking at building my own business as well. Thanks for watching, and see you in next video.